Okay, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your tag, and where you're from.
I'm a Reagan. I go by dBLIZZARD, and I'm from Los Angeles.
And are you a student? If so, what's your major?
I was a student. I'm currently an alumni. I graduated in May of 2024, and I studied data science.
So, what are you up to nowadays?
I am working at a consulting thing in Davis.
Yeah, and you commute up here every single
hmm
week with Amtrak.
Yeah, honestly, it's really nice. I just like I have a scooter. I ride it to the Amtrak station. It's like 15 minutes west of where I live. Take the Amtrak to Davis, and it's right there. I just take the scooter back like 8 minutes to my apartment.
Yeah, I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah, and the
Anyways,
Amtrak is nice because I mean it's like an hour and 20 minutes, but unlike the car ride, which is like 45 to an hour, I can actually like watch YouTube. I can like play video
yeah,
games. I can play fighting games. You know how it is.
yeah, I played the train Wi-Fi before. It wasn't pretty. How did you get started playing fighting games? What was your first game?
Guilty Gear Strive was my first game. This was back in 2020.
2021?
One,
Yeah.
2021. So it's like my summer of freshman year
And
of
how did you get
college.
into that?
I just bought it.
You just saw
To
it.
give more context, I like animation, like in video games and stuff, and just you know, like cartoon animation and
Yeah.
stuff too. I don't actually do it, but like as a hobby to like watch videos about. And there's this guy named like New
New
Frame
Frame Plus.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has the Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Guilty Gear Xrd like video. The funny thing is, like at the time, or like when Strive was coming out, I thought he made the video that was Xrd about like the upcoming game Strive.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh wait, this is the one I saw in that video. Like it looks so cool. I'm gonna play Strive. I thought he was making like some sponsored like future video, but no, just the fact that he talked about it and I recognized it on Steam, I was like, I gotta try it.
And did you like? I guess what was it like being a new player to that fighting game? Were you immediately hooked, or did it take you a while to get
Um,
used to it?
so I would say it wasn't hard for me to play it. I had a friend, Lance, who I played with like when it came out, and he's like convinced to try it. And he was a little interested too because he knows like Mortal Kombat. Like he played a bit of Mortal Kombat back in the day. Um, and so I just played with him like exclusively. Like of course I played the ladder a bit, but I wasn't like super into it. I was just like playing him, and I got better because I wanted to beat him.
Mm. That's funny. You're the first person I interviewed who didn't come to Smash. So you were like
Yeah.
completely brand new to fighting games, never played them before.
Now I also some more context though. Like I kind of knew going into it I'd enjoy a fighting game
How come?
because I played League a lot before, right?
Mhm.
Like that's one of my main games. And I played pretty much, and this is not true, like I played a bunch of roles, but my main two roles were ADC and top. And I like top a lot because it's like a 1v1.
1v1.
And I would play
Interesting.
characters that were really good at fighting. Like my main characters were like Riven,
Mhm.
who's like the duelist. I played Fiora, who's also like a duelist, and like Camille. So all those characters are really good at like taking trades and like using that to like push your advantage. So I kind of knew going into it, I'd be like I like the 1v1 aspect because I would always hate when the jungler ganks, which is a thing in League like
Yeah.
a lot. So yeah.
So how did you go from Strive to, I guess, first meeting the Berkeley Club and joining it?
Okay, so um this is like even more like background, but there's this guy John who used to be an
Yeah.
officer, and he would come a lot like freshman, sophomore year. Um, and he was one of my best friends in high school's neighbor.
Oh.
So I had known of him, like I had his contacts on like Discord, because to give you more context, like back in high school, my friend Patrick, he'd always talk about John like he's some like mythical figure. He's like, yeah, my neighbor, he's good at CS and he grinds Black Desert online. And so there are times when we play like CS 5v5s and like John would get invited and then like we'd
Mm.
play with him. And so I knew John at that he came to Berkeley. And keep in mind we're all online at this point.
Yeah.
But I like I had like not I had no friends when I came because of COVID, right?
Right.
And it's like start of college. So I would like go out of my way to like try and meet random people or like people who I kind of knew,
Mm.
just to, like hang out in person. And so John was one of the ones I consistently hung out with. And I figured out like as the semester was ending. Wait, hold on. Let me think of the timeline. I think it was the next semester. Like John, like at the start of the semester, like Chung, he was trying to get people to start a fighting game club. And John was somehow one of the people that he like met to become like one of the signing members. And I think they met because they were both on like the fighting game or not fighting games, like the Games at Berkeley Discord, like the huge hub.
Yeah.
And like one of them must have pinged in the Discord of like who plays like Strive.
Yeah.
So I knew of the club through John because he was one of the signatories. So I was there like at the first meeting and stuff. And yeah, so like how I got to Strive to the fighting game club was because John knew Chung and Chung was starting the club.
And when you first went, it was still online.
Yeah, so it started like I'm pretty sure the game came out in the middle of my semester. I think like I might be capped.
So I came on August 2021.
It came out August 2021?
Yeah.
Okay, then it wait, so it was out during my first semester in person. Okay, so I must have been playing it at that time. I think I was actually, yeah. And so the club hadn't formed yet, but it was like forming during the semester, I think. And I think near the end of the semester, we met like on Zoom/Discord. Played. That was like the first meeting.
And what was your first impression? Were you like, this is kind of weird, or were you immediately into it?
No, I liked it. Like, I mean, at that point, I think I'd like played the game a lot more than Lance.
Yeah.
I kind of forget. I mean, at this point, I knew he wasn't playing as much, but I would like still play, like mainly the ladder and stuff.
Mhm.
And yes, I liked it. Like, I'm pretty sure I went to like every meeting, just playing games, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely one of the OGs. Like, I think you're probably the longest mainstay in the club's entire history.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Sherwin. Like, Sherwin didn't come as much, but he was also there since the beginning.
But let's talk about game specific stuff a little bit. So, Strive came out. You were playing season one solo at the time?
So, okay, this is so. I mean, I was new, right?
Yeah.
I think this is another question you're probably gonna ask, but like, what controller do I play? I've gone through every controller. Okay, I had an Xbox controller that I used to play just video games on Steam, like Monster Hunter and stuff. And so when the game came out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use the Xbox controller. And so I used that for a long time. So maybe like, so when the game came out in August, I kept using it until the like middle of the semester after that. So that's August to
March or something?
yeah, March.
Yeah.
I used that for like 7 months. And then I wanted to play Zato. Before that, I made Nagori Yuki and I played Pad. I was like, I want to play Zato. Well, I read online you can't really play Zato on Pad, and there's only like one good dude who does it because you have to actually negative edge everything.
Yeah.
How are you gonna negative edge with one thumb?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get a stick. So I got the Hori Wrap Band. It's like $200. And I used that for a while too. Like, it was a year after that when I got a hitbox. So I played with a stick for like a year. And then after the semester where we had the Blaze Blue and Pulsar Arena tournament, like during that summer, I went to Japan. And prior to this, I'd always complained about stick a bit because I would always have trouble just like maneuvering around and also like doing like half circles on like Haas. Like I would be like dashing a bunch of neutral. I want to do the move, but it doesn't come out and I get like an execution error. And I went to Japan and I didn't want to bring. And actually, I did bring my stick, my big ass stick to Japan.
Yeah.
And I was playing the CBBL for a third strike at the time. And on my stick, I couldn't consistently do Makoto's command grab because that's what I played. Like on like really fast. Like I just couldn't do it on stick. So what I did instead is I used my keyboard as the left part, and I used the stick part to like play with the punch buttons and the kick buttons. And because Fightcade lets you map stuff like pretty easily like that, I just played like that. And so then after that trip and that summer, I'm like, I'm switching to hitbox.
Mm.
What was the original question? I kinda
I
forgot.
asked which character you played. So you went from Nago to Zato?
Yes. Okay. Oh, so that's why. Yes,
Yeah.
the Nago on controller.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I want to play Zato on stick. But I got the stick. I didn't play Zato at all.
Yeah.
I tried Kai because when I got the stick, it was like so hard to use.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm so ass. I'm gonna just play like, and Zato was also hard like fundamentally as a
Yeah.
character. So in the meantime, I'm like, okay, I'll play Kai for a bit, just because I think he's cool and I think he's easier to learn than Zato. And so I never ended up picking up Zato, and I only played Kai for a long time. And then I started hating Strive, and I started playing other games. So on Hitbox, like I just kind of played
I do
whatever.
recall you playing Soul though, and then Biken.
Okay, so there's even more after that.
Yeah.
So I got the stick, I played Kai,
Yeah.
and then the start of the club happens.
Yeah.
They massively nerfed Soul. So this is not season 1 Soul where he had like the wall bounce and the broken DPs and stuff. And they patched him so he had Bandit Revolver. It's not always like the 2 hits. You can like press it once and you have to press kick again to kick.
Mhm.
And I thought he had really funny combos because in that patch, his main B&Bs, you do like 5k far slash and like you juggle them and then you do like one of the bandits and then you like do another kick and then slash and then you do the final like 2 bandits. And I thought those like bunny loops were funny. So then I swapped to Soul for the longest time. And that's pretty much my main until the end of Strive, like when I stopped playing Strive. And then near the tail end, I started picking up Biken. But at that point, I hated Strive so much, I never really like played much of that.
What caused you to fall out of love with Strive?
Okay, so Strive and its launch, like I always say this because people always get mad. Like I tell them Strive is so like gambly and like one touch death of game. People say it's different now, but back in the day, everyone can agree that shit was like such like every single round felt like a coin flip half the time because so many characters is so much damage.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even hard to do. Like Nagoriyuki, round start, if he gets like his Beyblade off you into like 6H or whatever, that's half your HP gone. And you just get snowballed. And on top of that, Chung played Nagoriyuki and he was way better than me, right? And so since he and I would play a lot, I thought the game was so stupid. It's like how I hate how he plays Jamie, but on a legitimately good character when the character's top tier. So every game was a coin flip. And it's like, I didn't feel like the game respected you as a player. It's like so
Damn.
stupid. And so I hated Strive's damage. And like, frankly, I wasn't good, right?
Uh-huh.
But I just knew like my heart wasn't in Strive. And if I kept playing, like, I would just get like angry. So I'm like, you know what? I like fighting games, but let me try out any other game. And so I hopped off to a bunch of different games instead.
So what was like the first game you branched off to?
So the first game, I started playing, and this is right after that semester, the first semester we were in person. So this is like start of spring 2021. I decided, or I was actually in Seattle on vacation, and we went skiing, and I'm like, I'm gonna try a different game. And Chung, who I played Strive with, he said his favorite game was Blaze Blue. And so I picked up the game on the winter sale of that like vacation, and I started trying it out. Yeah, I just started trying out Blaze Blue, and I liked it. And what really helped too is this was the first CBBL, was Blaze Blue Central Fiction, and I played in it. And because it was also my first CBBL, I grinded the game a decent amount. Like, frankly, Tony did have as many games in like the month prior to that tournament we had, the beginner tournament.
Yeah.
But in that like CBBL like 2 months, like I had like almost as many games as he did in a month. So I played the game. Yeah, I had like 900 or something, and I really liked it. So I would play a bunch of Blaze Blue. And at the time, and I think you might have been coming, but you know the club was a Strive club,
Yeah,
right?
it was at the time.
Like as much as I hated it, if I didn't play Strive like at club, like I wasn't really playing much else. But me and Chung would play Blaze Blue like occasionally. But also at the time, I think Chung kind of stopped going because he was in acapella, so I didn't have people to play Blaze Blue with except the CBBL people. And so, like, because I knew no one else wanted to play Blaze Blue, I just played Strive. But I wanted to get people to play Blaze Blue, so I'm like, I want to do the beginner tournament because that was an idea I floated like in my head prior to that. It's like
Was
if
that the very
no,
first beginner tournament?
it was the first beginner tournament. Like if no one's gonna play the game, I gotta get other people to play it. Like as an officer by making an event.
Mhm.
And so the BlazBlue beginner tournament was to get other people to play. Um, but I knew there were other people like in the club who played like other older games, right? Like BlazBlue, and also specifically Matt and Anthony
Right.
because they played Plus R. I don't know if you remember this, but they came to Latimer like that semester prior, and they played Plus R and Third Strike on the projector because they wanted other people to play it. But of course, everyone only played Strive, me included, so no one really picked it up. There was even like that time where Matt gave like a lecture. I don't know if you were ever there. But he was like, guys, I want everyone to play Third Strike. Like, it's really cool and it's so simple. He made the Third Strike guide that people post
Yeah.
on Google Docs. And he even gave like a lecture on how to play the game for like 30 minutes. But
Class.
we didn't really stick with it. And so he stopped coming alongside Anthony. And so when I was making the BlazBlue beginner tournament, I was like, a good idea is also have a Plus R beginner tournament because that's the game they played.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, then after BlazBlue, I started playing Plus R because I liked it during the tournament, and also because even though we had the Blaze beginner tournament, no one really played after, but these guys like they played Plus R,
Mhm.
you know, and that Plus R beginner tournament was what caused those two to also start coming to the club like more regularly. So like I just want to play Plus R with them
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, Anthony didn't mention those details, but that does track with what I remember.
Like both being in Latimer and like the
I was not
club.
there for the Latimer era. I went to one Latimer meeting, but then I was at the Blaze Blue beginner tournament. I was at the Plus Star beginner
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah. Um.
And also, that was the first tournament Eric went to. That plus R, like the whole story we had where he was tabling, that was the like Wednesday of the. Oh no, that's like the Wednesday prior, or the Friday prior to the plus R tournament.
Oh.
And so I'm pretty sure Eric came to that meeting prior, and I was like, "Yo, you got to play like plus R," and he's like, "Oh, like I played." He played Exerd,
Mhm.
he played Strive, so he started learning it to play in the Plus R tournament, and because of that, he started coming more regularly too, and so he also played Plus R as his main game for a while.
Yeah. That is like pretty fortunate timing.
Yeah.
So okay, this is 2022 era Blaze Blue beginner tournament plus our beginner tournament. I think at this point we're pretty regularly hosting different types of games,
Hmm.
partly thanks to you and like the rest of the officers. Would you say there's like a game you ended up trying that you really fell in love with, or were you just like bouncing between games at the time?
So I guess the timeline of the games I've played are like also kind of goes in line with the CBBL, but I started with Strive, then I played Blaze Blue Plus R slash Third Strike. Third Strike was kind of like a side game. I never really like mained it. Then after that, I'm pretty sure the game I played was Exerd. And then other games like KOF was a CBBL game, so I played that. And I think those are all the games I played. What was the original question though?
I'm just asking which games you ended up trying.
Oh, right, like what
Yeah,
was the most I enjoyed?
yeah.
Um, I can tell you the ones I didn't enjoy were Street Fighter 6, and I didn't really like Third Strike, honestly. And I also did not like I did not like Marble 3. I didn't. That was one of the games I
It's like
remember I
Capcom
played.
hater.
And yeah, I'd say the games I most liked, of course, Exerd.
Mhm.
I like it more than Plus R, and I played a lot more than Plus R too. And also, I really enjoyed KOF. I think KOF kind of took a while, honestly. Like, I feel like until you watch the videos that tell you what the game should be like, you don't really play it as you should. And that like the way you play as you should is what makes it enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I just kind of played it like Street Fighter. And at the time, I wasn't super into it. Like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like the most fun. But then as I got better at the game, I like really enjoy it now.
Yeah, KOF definitely it's so different from every other fighting game. Like the
Yeah.
dynamic and the neutral.
Like, of course, the 2D fundamentals carry you, but I feel like it didn't feel unique to me until I like really like understand why you're supposed to do
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
things.
Did you end up finding a favorite character out of all those games? Maybe Johnny.
Honestly, like I feel like the past, like I kind of stopped playing Exit a lot.
Mm.
I would say like maybe like a year ago, because I would like grind the game a lot. I don't think Johnny is my kind of character, honestly.
Oh,
Like, I really think Haas is one of my favorite characters. And the reason I like Haas so much, even though I didn't really like Plus R, and honestly, it's partly because I was ass and Eric and Matt were so much better.
really?
But I really like Haas. Like, even if I played the game now, I would still play Haas because he's such a fun rush on character. Like, he has good buttons, but he gets good access to plus frames. And like my favorite thing about him is he has a short hop, like a KOF short hop.
Oh,
So other characters, like their jumps will go like this, and his jump goes like whoosh. So he has like a KOF version of a short hop, and like I think he's my favorite character. Like if another game has a character with a short hop and they're like a rushdown character, like I kind of think I'd gravitate towards them.
mm.
Like Dudley, like
Dudley with a short hop.
he has a short hop, yeah. So he has like a he goes really tiny. And I feel like I know that's true because when I played Ryu, Denjin Ryu, or Makoto, I honestly don't like Third Strike. Like I didn't like it, but I feel like with Dudley, I'm actually really enjoying it.
Oh, that's good.
So I think Haas is like the model character I want to
Mm.
look at if I want to like find someone I enjoy.
Do you like playing the short hop character in a non-short hop game, or do you just also just enjoy short hops in general?
I just enjoy short hops, but it's also just like the character archetype. I think I really enjoy someone who has a good strike throw game and can just kind of like plaster you with normals.
Mm.
Like they have the freedom to take the risk and go in, or they have the freedom to stay back or just use the plus frames to make the opponent scared, you know?
Yeah.
Like the thing I don't like about Johnny is he has a really floaty jump, like one of the floaties in the games. Cause so you're not meant to jump in pressure like at all. And like he also has a step dash. It's a really good step dash, right? But I'm just not a fan. It's so committal. I kind of like just like dashing up a bit and stopping and letting the opponent do something while they think I'm gonna run in, like fuck them up.
Mm.
And like that's kind of what I enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of describing just like KOF system mechanics.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I like I guess I just do like KOF's like how active you are.
Mhm.
Like Johnny, and this is Exerd, so you're always doing something. But even he doesn't like kind of just go in. Like a lot of time you want to wait and react to the opponent rather than like doing stuff to like to actively mix up your opponent. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have built-in mix, right? People complain, but he doesn't really do many 50-50s. He forces the opponent to like make a mistake themselves because they're worried of the risk he has. Like risk as in like the literal risk bar
Yeah.
in Exerd.
Yeah.
Johnny just builds it up really quickly because he's like plus 20 on everything. So you're so like if I have full risk and even if he gets me with like a low or just like a throw, I'm gonna take half my HP, so I have to do something,
Right.
and that's when he gets like the opening.
Okay. To change topics a little bit, we've been talking about this for a while. Are there any memories from the club that you would say are like your favorite? Any moments that are really memorable to you?
This isn't a specific memory, but the in and outs were always really fun. I don't even know if you went.
No, that was too late for me.
Yeah, because
Back home.
you graduated, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, always going to In and Out was fun, and that would usually be like whenever Michael came. And he had a car, so we could like do In and Out. And it was pretty much always just like me, Matt, and Eric, and like other people, whoever stayed. I think those are always fun. Um, Besides that, like specific memories, I would say the Grand Blue tournament was really fun. The beginner tournament,
Rising or vanilla?
vanilla, and honestly, it's because of Sherwin. I think any tournament Sherwin was in
It's hype.
automatically makes it hype because he has like the reputation, you know? Like the Sherwinator is a joke, but it's also adds to the fun because
Yeah,
we all like watching Sherwin do well.
yeah. He's good too. Like for a Soul
Yes,
Calibur main game,
exactly.
like
Like
yeah,
that's why the Sherwinator came out because it's like he never played fighting games. Like
yeah,
he would never show up, but he had strong fundamentals. So you
yeah.
want to see him
Exactly.
do well
Never
because he's
making a
not.
server,
Yeah,
only with
exactly.
Soul Calibur.
Exactly.
I always wonder where he got so like the 2D fundamentals. You know,
I don't know either. Like honestly, it might just be Strive because
he was pretty into Type Lumina as well. I think.
yeah. So Sherwin, he was one of the OGs for the fighting game club. Like he would come to Latimer. Like this is where our rivalry began, is because we both played Kai, and so we'd have Kai
Uh,
1v1s, and like that's how we became friends. Like we would always like talk trash to each other because of Kai. And then when I swapped to Soul, it like got a little different. I think that's also the time, like when I picked up Soul, that Sherwin wanted to do the Ghost Pepper challenge, which never ended up happening. But yeah,
well, something similar happened, I guess. Not exactly the same.
with Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the Ghost Pepper challenge, that Ghost Pepper he had since that year.
Just laying around.
That's what he said. He said he bought the ghost pepper to use it with me, and he's had it for like 3 years because he did it like right as we're graduating.
So that was the same pepper they ate for the
That's what
challenge?
he said. Yeah,
A 3-year-old pepper?
yeah. I mean, it's dried. It's not like
Okay.
raw.
I
Like,
thought it was like a fresh pepper
no,
pack.
no, no. It was a dry pepper.
Okay, other questions. What other games do you like playing? Non-fighting games.
So I talked about it. I play League a lot,
Hmm.
and I've been playing forever since like seventh grade. So I've been playing for what like at this point like 9 years or something. And I played a bunch of League. Love and hate relationship. Like I honestly used to be a rager. I wouldn't flame people like much in game at all. Like honestly, I never really flamed in game, but I would get mad like internally too. Not nearly as mad as other people, but I have broken a mouse playing League because I got so pissed. And I think fighting games like helped me enjoy League again because
Mm,
I stopped playing League for such a long time. Like when I entered college, I played so much League during the COVID era, and when I came in person, I kind of stopped playing League a bit, and that lasted for like a year. And then I started getting back into it because my friends also started playing again, and I just wasn't as mad anymore. Like,
yeah, you killed the ego, the
yeah,
fighting game
it
part.
really helps a lot.
I
So
agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I could never get stressed out by another game anymore.
yeah,
Fighting game just does something to you.
yeah, it really does help. And I tell people, bro, like it's meditative. I do get mad at fighting games, but it definitely like increases your like stress
It
tolerance.
does. Yeah, you're forced to confront the fact that it's like it's just you.
Yeah.
I
Like
think that's cool.
I used to think like, I always blame my team or anything,
Mhm.
but no, like you can't blame the team in the fighting game. So when I come back to it, I don't want to be blaming the team.
Mhm.
Like it would negatively impact my fighting game like growth.
Yeah. All right, another question. Do you have any like controversial opinions about fighting games?
This isn't controversial, but I think sticking to one game is like the
It's
opposite.
whack.
It's not I do think it's whack. Kyle, you main one game usually, but at least you tried a bunch.
Yes.
I know people who never want to try it.
Yeah.
Like Joy, he plays Exit a lot. He has 3,000
Holy
hours,
shit.
and that's in the past 4 years, right?
Mhm.
He's only played Exit from beginner to now when he's a good Exit player. He's only played Exit. He hasn't even tried other games. Like maybe he's like
Damn.
has like 90 minutes, right? But
Mhm.
that's not actually trying it. And he's good, so I don't get why he doesn't want to try it. He even
Yeah.
has friends who only play like Chris, number six. He
Yeah.
only plays Melty. He hasn't even tried Melty much. Like, I don't understand why. I feel like the whole point of fighting games is like the social aspect. And like of course if you want to like grind one game, like that's great. And I think most people like should do it. But if you want to like make friends and stuff, you can't do that only playing like Exert. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
be stuck
agree.
in one community. You don't really reach out and see what other people like are about.
Yeah, but I think that wisdom is kind of lost on a lot of people, especially people who play online. You're
Yeah.
talking about people who you met at locals. There's a bunch of people who don't even leave their rooms. They just play one
Yeah.
game. That's pretty sad.
It is sad. I
Like,
think
yeah,
the making like in-person relationships and playing in person is the reason I like fighting games.
yeah, me too.
Like, if the club didn't exist, I probably would have stopped that strive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real.
I mean, like the games themselves are just like a reason to be here, I think.
Yeah. Like, fighting games online, like Matt says this a lot, but it's like pretty cold. It's like there's no communication. Like you can just ping someone and not talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And it's always most of the time a stomp. If someone's even slightly better than you,
Yeah.
like who you could like reasonably take like 1 out of 3 times, most of the time you're gonna be losing a lot. So it doesn't feel like you're actually cooperating with someone. And it's like, of course you can't like it's very like emotional, like very intimate, I say, as a game. But you don't really feel that unless you're like right next to them and
Yeah.
like can talk about it and like see their body language and like how they react to stuff. So yeah, like I forgot what the original point was, but playing in person is where it's at with fighting games.
And trying other games, I feel like also gives you perspective. You
Yeah,
can
it
sometimes you
does.
can tell when someone hasn't ever played another game, or even another
Yeah,
character. They'll say some shit, and you'll just think like you would never say that if you just played another fighting game.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
So that I'm glad that you hosted the beginner tournaments because that was part of the reason why I played a bunch of other games. Even though
Yeah,
I never really got into them as much as Street Fighter, but it helps, like just even a little bit.
yeah. I think the beginner tournament. I don't know if other clubs do this, but it's always the thing I think everyone most looked forward to. Like,
Yeah.
of course, most people didn't like grind a game out, but it let people try something out without like much stress of it, you
Yeah,
know?
it was marketed in the correct way.
Yeah. And it's always like the most hype thing because it brings everyone together. Like Strive was the great uniter, but when Strive fell off, what was left?
Mhm.
You were playing Street Fighter 5. We had like a little crew playing Plus R,
Yeah.
but we pretty much only played with each other. And then other people just kind of like played Strive or maybe they play Uni. But when the beginner tournament happened, everyone had to
Mhm.
play whatever was
Yeah.
on that day, you
That
know?
is like the one opportunity I got to interact with people like Matt or like Brian, who I
Hmm.
don't share any games with.
Yeah.
So we have to find like that one beginner tournament to actually play each other.
Yeah. And the tournaments were also always the most hype. I'm sure Eric won most of them, but there's always hype moments, you know. Sherwin and Grambley, the Sherwinator. There was the Sherwin versus Andrea Melty set. Like that one was really hype. Just stuff like that. You don't see that in a normal tournament. It's too serious. The beginner tournament allows like funny stuff to happen, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay. We've been at this for a really long time, way longer than I planned. Final question. So you already graduated. I asked everyone else, if they're graduating or if they're moving away.
Hmm.
Do you have any big future plans? Are you going to be staying, commuting from Davis to Berkeley? Like, what's going on with your life?
Well, my girlfriend is planning on moving to Davis in May.
For a job or just stay with
No,
you?
so she's yeah to stay with me. She has a remote job, so she can like kind of stay
Oh,
where I
nice.
am. I'm assuming that's the plan. Hopefully, I'll get laid off. If that happens, that would suck. And then I'd be stuck in Davis when I'd rather just be like no rent in LA.
Mhm.
That's the current plan is like probably a year we'll stay in Davis. I'd probably look for like another job or something. I don't know.
Are
And
you at
then
risk of being laid off?
um
Is this
I would
another can
say
of
like
worms?
I personally don't think so
Okay,
because
good.
I think I'm good at my job, but it's a non-zero chance.
Yeah,
As in like I expect there will be some person laid off
yeah.
because it's a consulting firm, specifically renewable energy consulting. As in like we do projects for like utilities to like plan for renewable like integration
Mm.
or like EV stuff. Like, oh, where should we put EV chargers? And there's a bunch of projects we had that were lined up like for our firm. It's not even a big firm, so every project kind of counts. And they were canceled
Oh
because of
shit.
Trump specifically. Like there was a $500,000 project we were planned to start. for helping the Philippines with something. And because US8 got completely gutted, that contract got canceled. And also LADWP, there's supposed to be some contract, and the fires happened. So those got canceled. And so that's like two in a row, and so that's a
Damn.
lot of money. And
Yeah.
so one person already got laid off like a couple months ago, but I envision another thing will happen.
Damn.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Dour note to close the interview out on. But thanks for coming. Thanks for
Yeah.
having an
Thank you
interview.
for having the interview.